as we get ready for the next fixture. And it will be between Malaysia and Singapore in the Asia Rugby Women's 7 Series for 2019. And both of these teams, this will be quite a good matchup here. Malaysia in their first tournament at the top level for Asia Rugby. And people to watch in this lineup, number 3, Siti Fatima. And Singapore, well, doggedly determined side. Eunice Chu at number 7 is the stalwart of the team. Samantha Teo, one to watch. Also Rachel Wang. And it'll be a big effort, I think, for Singapore to hold off Malaysia, who've shown a lot of talent and a lot of potential in their first tournament.
That's right, Singapore, they've been around at this premiership level for 3 or 4 seasons now, and have always managed to avoid relegation. There's been teams like South Korea, Sri Lanka, and the South Koreans were relegated. Our referee, Kawasaki from Japan, very good referee. And we've seen Malaysia promoted from Division 1, and well, they've battled, haven't they? And they've eventually pulled out one of the best tries we've seen earlier today against Thailand. A couple of tries, actually. They went down 36-10 this morning. And that gave them a little bit of confidence coming into this 7th and 8th playoff. And if you watch the players in the yellow headgear, there's one of them in action. It's Norfa Rahana Aziz. She is good. And look out also for number 12 with the yellow headgear. They're easy to spot, not only because they've got the yellow headgear, but they really do enjoy just running at the line, trying to get on the outside, really back themselves. Really good. There's Emily Chua, scrum half. Siti Fatima, number 3 with the braided hair. Big defender. Now, Singapore, they've been here and done it all before. Don't have any superstars or any blazing speed, but they're sort of team that'll just work their way down the field, and they tackle hard and they work well as a team. Here's Eunice Chu grabbing across sideways, calls in Chong on a straight run, taken on the 22. Here's Lo Yu Hoi. Chong gets in for another go and has a look up, tries to take on Mofarahana Aziz. Low again. And she managed to wriggle out of one tackle, but Maslina gets her hand in the way there and disrupts it. Here goes Norfa Rahana Aziz, and can they post one here against Singapore in the early stages? They're not going to stop her. It's a matter of how far she can bring it round. And she's supported by her teammate in the yellow cap, Azizan, and what a start for the Malaysians, a confidence booster. And there's the 2 players we have tried to tell you over and over, and they've proved us right. Great opening for them.
Well, the thing I like about Malaysia, and I think you do also, Grant, is their natural instinct to give the ball some air and to go wide. They like to run with the ball, and they like to try and shift it out wide to find these sort of players. And just unlike Singapore, or should I say Singapore lack this kind of threat. They don't have the out-and-out pace, and they don't have the out-and-out size. So they may struggle if the confidence level starts creeping up with Malaysia. We could see, well, would you call it an upset?
I would. Yeah, I would. It's the battle of the border down there in Singapore, Malaysia. Close neighbours. It's like a Hong Kong-China situation. And it's Lo Yu Hoi. They'll look now to post one of their own, and I'd say if we're talking about players with pace, Malaysia have probably got the edge here with those players, Norfarahana and Izar. They've also got an 11, Cindy John Passan. They've got some real gas, and looking on your screen there, that's actually Nur Shuhada. She's the only real player with pace in the Singaporean lineup. So for them to go 80 metres, it's really difficult.
Steady.
Emily Chua with the feed. Scoots around 90, but the ref lets it go. Here she is. And she can't control it, unfortunately. A good battle out there watching her. Azizan, here she goes now. She goes, here we go. Straight towards the line, no worries. Emily Chu is there, but she pops it up into the hands of the opponents. And now Eunice Chu sizes up the situation, gives it to Low. They've knocked it on here. They're just handing it back to the Malaysians. And another chance here with a scrum for Malaysia. As you say, as we say, we just love the way they see the post, those two big white things that are sticking up in the ground straight ahead, and that's what I'm going to run at. Sometimes they try and go around, and other times it's just any gap available, they'll have a look at it. They sometimes get isolated, and sometimes they pull it off. Emily Chua again. It's static. Norfa Rahana. Looking to get the arms free. Can't do so. Ong has got hurt. Euphrasia Clarice goes back the other way. And that's a good straight line from Amber Bernard. Euphrasia Clarice again, playing dummy half here. Nofarahana. There's Siti Fatima. Emily Chua gets biffed to the ground by Nur Shuhara. Looking to straighten out. Nofarahana.
Offside.
They're offside, so they're really applying the blowtorch here to the Singaporean team and really putting the cat amongst the pigeons. A score here would be really helpful. Maslina is right there and the ref's right there, and she spotted a knock on, and that's tragic. I think maybe a hand got in the way, so some desperate last defence there from the Malaysians.
Good power, isn't it? They love to run straight. They run direct. I think they're possibly already on a par in terms of their passing ability and skill set.
Crouch.
Oh, great work. Who was the defender there? Number 10 for Singapore. Hats off to Sim. Right there, just when our team needed it. Outstanding work.
Yeah, if I had a hat on, I'd take it off. And now they've got a defensive scrum here. This will be interesting. Two evenly sort of sized front rows. And look at that, it really is even. Malaysia try and get the shunt. Eunice Chu finally gets it out. Look at the big hit coming in from Clarice. Singapore having to do it the hard way. They don't usually like to kick the ball, and they look up the field, 80 metres of grass ahead of them in about half a minute of time on the clock. Big tackle, gang tackle coming in there from Chua and Aziz. And the arc came up on defence and promoted a small gap there. Low tries to get it over the top, and the Malaysian tackling, well, it's very impressive. They're really going to give these Singaporeans a go. Maslina. Can they work it out here? Siti Fatima, not really got much pace about her, but she takes 3 Singaporeans with her. Maslina looks up, and after missing that early attempt, she wants to have another go. There it is for them. That is ultra loose. And we're on extra time now. And a little knock on as she went to pick it up. So that'll bring the first half to an end. It's Malaysia that have bolted out of the gate here, leading their neighbours Singapore rather unexpectedly 7-0. Singapore going to have to come back at them in the second half. It's all a game of pride amongst the neighbours for bragging rights, isn't it?
Well, they looked pretty tired, didn't they, both sides at the end of that first 7 minutes, and why not? Been a long weekend. First time Malaysia's experienced competition at this level. They'll be finding it a bit more intense than what they're used to. And they'll be very happy with the way they're moving at the moment against Singapore. Singapore probably trying to be more reactive than proactive at the moment. It'll be frustrating for the coaches And Malaysia, well, they started out in their first game. It really is their ability to move the ball and their inclination to send it wide and look for space. I think physically they've got the athletes to go there. And if this is the first version of this team, well, as someone once said, things can only get better.
Thanks for joining us on the Facebook feed or on satellite TV around the world. Great having you with us as the opening leg of the 2019 Asia Rugby 7 Series comes into the final stages. It's good to have you with us at asia.rugby on the Facebook. And you can follow the news and updates there, get involved. Asia Rugby Live, if Instagram is your thing. And let's face it, it's many people's thing. And we're also on the Twitter at Asia Rugby. So get involved with the conversation, have your say. Who's your player of the tournament? From the women's side, it's hard to go past Nakamura for Japan.
Ready?
Chen Kei for China. Maybe Olsen Thorne or Melody Lee for Hong Kong. And Askarova for Kazakhstan. There'll be more action from those teams as well as we restart here with Malaysia. 7 points up. They've got to defend against the Singaporean side. Eunice Chu. Here comes Chan in 6 there. She's on in the second half and she's a real experienced player out there. She'll always be close to the action. Lowe takes it into contact and this defence is very determined and dogged, isn't it, from the Malaysians?
Yeah, all the matches are Singaporeans. They're very well matched, these two teams, with the slight edge and pace and skills possibly going to Malaysia at the moment, but as they get tired, we will see where Singapore maybe has some strength towards the deep end of the game. If they can score a try, Singapore, well, all bets are on.
What number?
Just a little bit of admin being done at the touchline here.
Samantha Teo's trying to get on.
Number 1.
And Teo joins the game in place of Wade. Try scorer from the last game, Samantha Teo.
5. Set.
Malaysia here with a chance to really put a little buffer on the Singaporeans. Emily Chua goes to the right, gets gang tackled by Rachel Wang Yun and
Not releasing.
Chan Jiao Yu. And without any hesitation, Azizan picks up the ball and goes for those 2 white posts again. Emily Chua, she's been really good just getting around there and delivering the ball off the ground. Here she is again. She's giving good service.
Good ball security from Malaysia. Good to see.
There's a step from Lislina and they just inch their way towards the post now. A couple more phases might do it. Emily Chua taken to ground. Euphrasia Clarice with the clearance and getting the big legs going. Siti Fatuma. Maslina. Tacklers still come flying in. Maslina gets up and goes again. Clarice. Here's the danger player. She tries to wriggle free. Oh, she just does wriggle out of that tackle, but she's lost the ball forward. It's very elusive. Nofara Hana Aziz, real talent. I think we'll see some of these Malaysians really grow over the 3 legs.
She's got a great eye for the gap, doesn't she? She really knows
Red number 6.
where to attack from a standing start too. Took the ball behind her.
She's number 8.
Just has good power to get going. A couple of first strides and she was almost away. Slight player, but
Okay. Number
if you
8.
can't catch him, you can't tackle him.
Insu.
Singapore feed then, just inside their own 22, pretty much in front of their own posts. And that's good from Sam Teo. They really don't have any gas on the outside though, so they have to hold it up and recycle the ball over and over. They're very deep and they're losing 20 metres each time they go out the back door. Shuhadar there with Chan teaming up to make a few metres.
Turned over.
4 minutes remaining now. Malaysia want to get it out wide too. You can see Izzar Azizan there in 12.
Terrific work by Eunice Chu there. She read that situation well. Flew up and made the spot tackle and helped create that penalty turnover. Well played.
Singapore then looking for someone to take this game by the scruff of the neck, and there's more good defence coming in from the Malaysians. They're so evenly matched, these two sides. It's the slenderest of leads, and either team can finish the other one off here. Eunice Chu goes in. Someone's got to throw a massive dummy and go through a hole here. Will it be Chan? Not that time. Eunice Chu scoots around the blind, and she's finally done it. Finds Amanda Ung, and she coasts away. There's one to beat. That's a good covering tackle from Emily Chua. Great work from the little scrum half. Good corner flagging. She wants to go quick as well. Fantastic stuff.
Fair play. That's fair enough. Good to see though, wasn't it? I thought Singapore might be out of trouble there for a moment, but no. Malaysia able to get across. And you just see the lack of threat when Singapore have got the ball. They don't really carry with any kind of, well, malice or any kind of vigour. They just trundle off down the line. Important line out here for Malaysia.
Yeah, 2 minutes to go. It doesn't look straight. Just drifted across.
Option scrum or line now? Scrum.
Scrum called. Right, Singapore. Well, interesting.
Here.
It'll be a good test of the Malaysian defence again.
Crouch.
Can the debutants hang on to less than 2 minutes remaining in their first ever tournament in the
Crouch. Bind.
Premier edition of the Asia Rugby 7 Series for women?
Eunice Chu now on the wraparound. Chan battles her way forward, gets back to her feet. Samantha Teo now, she's really making a mark. There she juggles it, bobbles it, throws out a bounce pass to Xian. Chan there, and that's just dropped cold by Sim. And didn't really make any ground. In fact, that break around the outside earlier on by Amanda Ung, that was the first real line break by the Singaporeans in 12 minutes. They get to go around the outside. No one able really to puncture the middle. No deception.
No, they're just lacking that natural athlete at the moment. They've got a lot of very hard-working women in the Singapore side, but they're lacking that X factor.
Maybe it's a boot over the top. A bit of a charge down. Everyone's on side. Malaysia now with 30 seconds. They don't want to just hold on. They want to finish with a try. Here she goes, the try scorer from the first half. Perhaps should have looked earlier for this player. Gives it late, and she's got a couple of players on her. So advantage being played to Singapore. Nice path, Samantha Teo. Look at her go. Play on.
Oh, well taken back. That's great work again.
Emily Chua, she's been working hard in this game and has broken play here.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
Let's get out of here. Okay, and there we go, the final whistle for the 7th and 8th playoff, and we said it would be an upset, and it is an upset. It's Malaysia who have beaten neighbours Singapore here. The fair amount of mild surprise. 7 points to 0. A very hard grafting game for both sides and not much in it. Just that early runaway try from 80 metres there, and that just blew it open. And that'll put Malaysia in good stead for the rest of the tournament. There's something they can take away from this and build, and I think they'll continue to grow throughout the series. They've got some talent there, and there's some potential that needs to be unlocked. So we're standing by now for the 5th and 6th playoff.